When I bought my very first house, I was convinced that you needed 20% down because that's what I heard, that's what I read online. I was sure of it. In reality, you don't. There's actual money out there. Real money, real programs designed to help you achieve homeownership even if you don't have tens of thousands of dollars in the bank. So today we're going to take a minute and talk about how to buy a house even if you have $0 in the bank for a down payment. Real fast, my name's Adrian.Hall. I'm a mortgage lender in East Tennessee, and I'm very intentional about these videos because I don't want it to be financial advice that you get online that has the disclaimer that it's not actually financial advice. I'm a licensed professional. When I say something, I have to back it with my license and my credentials and my awards. So all the information I'm giving you today is factual and real, and you can apply this towards your own home buying journey. So let's define what's on the table. You've mainly got 4 categories. You've got grants, you've got forgivable second mortgages, you've got deferred payment second mortgages, and you have low interest second mortgages. Any and all down payment assistance programs fall somewhere into one of those buckets. Now, real fast comment before we jump into this. Personal finance is personal. I'm going to give you a high level view, but you're watching a video. So this may not apply directly to you and your situation. If you're ever unsure, shoot me a message, comment below. My contact information is in the description to this video, or talk with a licensed professional in your area because they can tell you what's actually going to apply to your situation. So the first things first, where does this money even come from? There's basically 4 sources that exist for down payment assistance money. Every state has an HFA, a housing finance agency. In Tennessee, where I'm based out of, it's called THDA, the Tennessee Housing Development Agency. They are usually the biggest and most reliable source. And as long as you're within the boundaries of that state and you meet the eligibility of that loan program, you can receive that money. So certain cities and areas in the United States are going to have programs specific to that city. They can often be stacked with your state level ones as well, which is pretty sweet. But they're run and administered by the county or city government. So you have to buy within that footprint. Another viable option is a national nonprofit foundation type of down payment assistance. So if you've Googled Chenoa Fund, that is one that's pretty popular. Habitat for Humanity, there's many that exist. You can also consider industry or employer specific down payment assistance. Some employers, especially in areas where they're trying to drive employment and hire talented people, will offer down payment assistance for a home purchase in exchange for working there for a certain amount of time. Now, probably the biggest question is, where do you look to even find these programs? I mentioned the HFAs, the state fund. You can also look on their websites and see what programs are available and see how to get a hold of them. But the best actual answer is to talk to a licensed loan officer in your area because they work the community. They know what programs exist to help people get in homes. And a lot of the information you're going to read online is going to be written from regulator to regulator. It's not always easy to read as somebody walking into this for the very first time. A good loan officer will take that regulated conversation and they will make it something that you can clearly understand and ask questions about as you discuss it with them. Now, what affects eligibility? Income limits matter. Most down payment assistance programs are tied to a certain bracket of income. It's designed to help low to moderate homeowners. A lot of programs require that you have to be a first-time home buyer, meaning by definition, you've not owned a home in the last 3 years. So let me specify that just a little bit. If you've owned a home before and you have sold that house and 3 years have elapsed, you are considered a first-time home buyer again. Conversely, if maybe you inherited a piece of property, but you never resided in that piece of property, if we can document that, we can argue the case that you are in fact a first-time homeowner. And so you would be eligible for down payment assistance in these situations. All loan types, especially down payment assistance, have credit score minimums. They can range anywhere from about 580 to 640. It's going to depend heavily on where you are and what program fits your bill, but you want to make sure you have that credit score. So the property location and the price of that house will also determine if you're eligible. Certain programs, such as USDA, designed for areas that are deemed rural. So you can't buy a house in downtown anywhere if you're going to be doing a USDA loan. Or THDA, it's specific for the state of Tennessee. So if you're shopping in Chattanooga, where Georgia is 2 feet away, that's a different state, that's a different program. Almost all down payment assistance programs, though, do have a maximum acquisition limit, or how much the home is allowed to be sold for. It's designed to lower the barrier into home ownership for low to moderate income homeowners. They often will adjust it based on where that house is. So higher cost of living areas will have a higher limit than lower costs will. but you're not gonna get a mansion with down payment assistance. Occupancy type. All down payment assistance programs require that you are going to live in this house. Unfortunately, there's no down payment assistance for rental properties or beach houses. It has to be the home that you're going to live in majority of the year. And not all, but some programs also require homebuyer education courses. This is a pretty simple course you can take online on a Saturday, and they go through some of the important things that you'll need to know as far as home ownership. Some programs require this class. You don't have to do it in advance. You just have to complete it before you close on your new home. Your loan officer will help you navigate that timeline. Now again, none of this is a one-size-fits-all thing. Whatever works for one person might not work for you. The only way to figure out exactly what you qualify for is to take some time, speak with a professional, and figure out what it is that you qualify for. Now, I'm gonna call you to action on this part. If you want to know what is actually available in your area, it is a 5-minute conversation with a loan officer. That's all it takes. Call me up and say, hey, I live here and I'm thinking about down payment assistance. What's available to me? And I can walk you through that. You don't have to guess. You don't have to consult AI. You don't have to Google it. Professionals have the answer. You're allowed to lean into them to figure out how you fit in and what's available for you and your needs. And that's basically Down Payment Assistance 101. So it's that part of the YouTube where I have to say, if you found this helpful, please take a minute and like the video and or subscribe, because this does matter. I run an independently operated mortgage franchise here in East Tennessee. I'm part of Rate, and if you had these questions, somebody else online has these exact same questions, and doing those actions make this video more visible and easier to find. If you think of any follow-up questions, absolutely drop it in the comments below. I take the time to reply to each and every single comment. Please let me know and we will talk through it. Otherwise, happy house hunting.